Direct Connection is made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities and is made possible by the generous support of our members. Thank you. Live from Maryland Public Television, this is Direct Connection with Jeff Salkin.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for Direct Connection. Coming up, which casinos will be the winners and losers with the opening of MGM? But first tonight, what do you know? The technology world has delivered a whole bunch of cool toys just in time for holiday shopping. Joining us tonight, Jim Barry of the Consumer Technology Association. Jim, great to see you again.
Nice to see you, Jeff. Nice to be here.
It strikes me that every year when you stop by, the toys are getting smaller and smaller.
Yes.
Nothing has gotten smaller than the drone that you have with you.
You're absolutely right. Digital technology, when you think about it, you know, we now have wearable technology, and that's one of the big things on our annual survey, wearable tech. Things like smart watches and fitness wristbands. All of these types of little devices are showing up now as well. But you mentioned this drone. Yeah, this is the Jet Ultra. You can see how small that little guy is.
Now, the amazing thing is that little guy can actually fly with those wimpy little propellers.
I know. Did you want me to fly it? We flew it a few minutes ago.
Let's take a vote. Anybody opposed?
We'll just do a little. We'll just do a little spot here and see if it. Well, I think it's gone to sleep on me.
Well, it's flashing lights, red and blue lights. Is that a camera in it?
There is a camera built in.
That's remarkable.
Okay, we'll just we'll show it right there. But that's the thing that really has made these drones take off. You know, they've been around for a while, but really the marriage of the action camcorder, the GoPro type, with your flying robot is what really had these take off. But you can see how small that little guy is. And he's got a little controller. It fits right into the controller. And this is an indoor, it's kind of a starter drone, about 75 feet or so, and you'd fly it inside. But you can get the ones outside, $800, $900, $1,000 or more. And there's a lot of rules about that now. But and they have a lot of commercial applications, a lot of real estate folks, farmers using them.
What did you say the price tag was?
It's about $100, again, for this one. So that's really the kind of a starter drone, and then you could go from there.
That is as remarkable as anything you've ever shown us, that it's that small and it's that cheap. And
right, and has a camera built in, a camcorder built in, so then you can stream the video onto your smartphone. Again, a lot of these you can control from your smartphone. You know, a smartphone still 10 years old, really, for the iPhone. Before that, we had somewhat smartphones, the BlackBerry, which was really an email device along with the phone. But the smartphone has so many different uses and applications, including running some drones, putting into a virtual reality headset.
It's been a game changer.
Yeah,
there would be no Uber if there weren't a smartphone.
Oh yeah, Uber. You know. Being able to, the sharing economy. And you think about Uber, next month our big consumer electronics show, the big CES in Las Vegas, one of the big things there is automotive tech, is driverless cars. And you know, in Pittsburgh right now, Uber is using driverless cars, autonomous vehicles. So you can call a car, won't have a driver in it. So that's really a peek at the future, combination of some of the applications of your smartphone with autonomous vehicles.
Well, bring us one of those to play with next time.
That would be fun. It really is remarkable in one of those. At CES, we'll see a lot of those. I've ridden in some of those. They're really amazing. Some people say I'd be a little uneasy with that, and I say yes. Of course, I'm uneasy with some of my friends driving too, so it really depends on who's driving.
Let's boil it down for people who are still doing some holiday shopping.
Right.
What is hot? I mean, what's really selling? What are people going to need help shopping for?
Well, you know, on the survey, the top 5 on the wish list this year again are the same as they have been for the last 5 or 6 years. They switch order a little bit, but the top 5 are laptop computers, smartphones, tablets, televisions, and video game consoles. So that's really been the top 5 since the iPad came out in 2010. Television's been a big family gift for what? Since television, really.
What's happening with the TVs? I haven't been in the local electronics store lately, but it wasn't that long ago they had the 3D television, so you would put on some glasses and get a headache immediately.
The glasses were the issue with that because
it didn't take off.
Well, it's still a feature in lots of TVs, but you're right, it didn't take off. There's not a lot to watch on it as much as there was for other things, and they thought it would be the next big thing. The big thing right now is you'll see the letters and numbers: 4K UHD, ultra high definition. This is the next generation of high definition sets. You'll also see these letters HDR, which mean high dynamic range. This means every aspect of the picture, not just the picture elements, the pixels. Doesn't mean there's just lots more of those. Every aspect of the picture is better. So there has never been a better time to buy a television. You know, I work for the association of the companies that make these, but I've been writing about this stuff for almost 40 years now. And the bang for the buck that you get buying a TV, not even counting these Black Friday and Black Friday week and Christmas and Super Bowl specials, the price is absolutely spectacular.
Would you buy a 4K ultra high definition TV knowing that what comes out of most people's cable box or even over the air is regular high definition, not the ultra high definition?
I would for a couple of reasons. One, a lot more people are watching Netflix over either a little box hooked up to their TV, either a smart TV or a Roku or an Apple TV. Netflix is producing a lot of their programs, Orange is the New Black, for instance, in 4K for ultra high definition. And all those normal programs you see that are broadcast in high definition, these sets do, they call it upscaling. Basically, it polishes up that picture. It's going to look even better while you wait for them to start broadcasting everything in 4K UHD.
Let me remind our viewers, if you have a question for Mr. Technology, Jim Barry, about what to buy this holiday season, how to comparison shop, give us a call. We'll have the number up on the screen. You can also tweet your questions. The Twitter address is @MPT News. Let's focus in on your wrist for a second, because you had both an Apple Watch and a Fitbit. Is that what that is?
Yes, this is the Fitbit Alta, and this is the Apple Watch. And it's interesting thing about this, I think, is that they're actually combining, because the Fitbit has a clock on it, as well as all of the fitness stuff, how many steps I've taken and all the rest of that. The Apple Watch is now moving towards being a fitness device also. I mean, it was from originally, but if you see the ads now for it, and it's the 2.0, the second generation that's out now, what they are really focusing on is the fitness aspects of it, including the swimming, waterproof, that kind of stuff.
Now,
So they're combining into one. It was two categories, smartwatches and fitness devices. They're now becoming one.
But smartphones can count how many steps so why do I need one of those?
Well, because you just have to look at your wrist. But here's the thing. That's one interesting point, is that the next generation of these, you won't have to have the phone with you. See, that's one thing you do, is you have the phone with you that's connected via Bluetooth, short-range wireless, to your wrist. The next generation coming soon will have you'll just need this on your wrist.
Do you have that infrared camera on the bottom of that? Is that the phone you had it hooked up with?
I do, yeah. This is on the bottom of this is called Seek Thermal. Let's see, you can kind of see, you can see the camera, you can see some of the heat, and you can see you
pointed
there.
over here, yeah.
And you were hot, Jeff, see?
I think it's reflected heat, actually.
It turns the camera on your iPhone into an infrared or heat-seeking camera. So if people have asked me, what would I do with that? Well, this time of year, it's getting cold. You can see where the heat's escaping in your house. So you want to caulk up some spaces between the windows and all that kind of stuff.
It's also a flattering look for someone.
Yeah. It can be pretty good.
What's the price tag
That's about
on that?
$250. That's the most expensive item I have on the table here, is that it's called the Seek Thermal.
So the drone's $100, you said?
$100 for that drone.
Boy, that's hard to resist. I mean, even if you fly it over the neighbor's house and this one is more of an indoor, and it only goes 75 feet. If the neighbor's close, you might be able to do that, and it's small enough you might lose that too. You got to be careful. Let's grab a phone call. Baltimore City, this is Mark. Mark, thank you for the call. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm looking for a new laptop, and what do you recommend in processors? Intel, AMD?
So you're looking for a PC?
Yes.
Windows machine? Okay.
Well, Personally, I think there's little to choose between those, AMD and Intel. They both make terrific processors, and there's lots of them available. The good news about laptops is the prices are way down. You know, a few years ago, if you're buying, I don't know how long ago the last one you bought, Mark, but it's going to be a lot less than you paid before for the same amount of bang for the buck. The other thing you want to consider, perhaps, is the combination tablet and laptop, like Lenovo's Yoga, that gives you a little bit of both, a touchscreen tablet and a laptop.
You certainly see more people carrying those than you did even a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I get asked a lot at back to school time, should I get my child going off to school, should I get him or her a laptop or a tablet? For schoolwork, you really still need a laptop. You need it for the keyboard, you need it for the power and memory, and you need it for the inputs and outputs. Now, you're getting some of them like the Surface and all the Surface clones, as well as some of these hybrids that I mentioned are getting all of that. But, you know, we plug a lot of things into those, so you want to make sure you take all that into consideration, what you're going to do with it before you buy the device.
Let's grab a call from Anne Arundel County. This is George. George, thank you for the call. Go ahead.
Hello, George.
Good evening. Say, I'm wondering, even though the focus here is on technology and all the new stuff, but there's a serious, growing, but still small group of people out there, including my son, who thinks that having music come through old records as opposed to all the newer digital technology has something to offer. And I'd like to know whether he has any comments on that, you know, exactly why that is that digital doesn't capture something that some people hear.
George, thank you. It's a little like the difference between a piano and an electronic keyboard, no matter how good the thing is.
Well, there are some technical aspects to this. When they first digitized music, and we had vinyl, we had really nice vinyl records, but when they put the ones and zeros to get them onto a CD and then later into streaming music, MP3s and so forth, they only had so much space, so many ones and zeros, so they took out a certain amount. The real audiophiles, golden ears guys and gals would say, well, you know, or a lot of musicians say, I'm not hearing what I put down in the studio or what's really there. Neil Young is a big proponent of this. He has a service, actually, Pono, that delivers this kind of music. I have a set of headphones here. These are from Sony, earbuds, I should say. These are capable of what's called high-res audio. High-res audio puts that back in. Again, we're 30 years into this digitization of music, so what they've said is, we got enough ones and zeros now, let's do real high-res audio. And Neil Young is doing that, and you can get now receivers, amplifiers, and some headphones that'll do that as well.
Here's a Twitter question. It says that tunerless TVs without tuners are now coming to be. What's the best way to get local TV in that case?
Well, if it doesn't have a tuner, then you're going to have to get a separate tuner. You know, I got asked this just recently.
I didn't know that was legal.
We used to call those, well, you can't call it a television. And
So
you'll see them advertised. Well,
right.
It is a monitor. That's what we always used to call a monitor. And you cannot call it a TV to advertise it. A company cannot unless it has a tuner built in. So if you want to watch local TV, you're going to have a tuner. Or you could have a cable box, which will get you those local channels, because they're required by law to deliver the local channels. But they are starting to, I've seen some of those, and they usually market it, you see it as a home theater display or something like that. For some people, it's lower price. If you're not trying to get over the air, if you're not watching local channels, if you're just streaming a lot of video or watching Netflix or
I bump into more and more people with the advent of Netflix and all that who watch local TV over the air.
Yeah.
The way it was meant to be.
I know.
So the idea that there would be a TV without an integrated tuner, you know, maybe it's a niche product.
Yeah.
Hard to see that taken over.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, because again, it's not a TV, it's a monitor. But you know, and you're right, many people don't realize that over the air with an antenna on the roof or rabbit ears, good old rabbit ears type on your set. Again, it depends on where you are. You get true high definition, a lot better in many cases,
less
picture quality
right.
than you'd get through a cable or a satellite.
Last thing, well, we have two things we haven't talked about. What's the yellow gizmo?
This is pretty cool. This is from a company with a cool name, Waka Waka. This is a
I can't even guess what that is.
It's a portable charger for your smartphone or other devices. You can plug them in the side, but these are little solar panels. So it charges up by leaving it out in the sun, and then after all day out in the sun, it'll store that, and then you can plug your device in here. So it's small enough and light enough you'd carry that with you, and then it serves as a backup charger. It's about $80 or so. Really
it's
nice
funny,
to
the
have.
solar cell doesn't look like the solar cells I'm accustomed to.
Yeah, well, there's little solar panels there. You can see.
Oh, I see. They're small.
Yeah.
And the other thing,
This
you were
is
telling me
great.
before.
This is the Vid Box. This is $99. You got a collection of the kids growing up on video cassettes. What are you going to do with them? Plug this into the video cassette recorder, if you still have one, or go to the library and get one. Then plug this end into your computer, digitize those, put them onto a computer, and then you have them on a hard drive. You can do whatever you want with them from there.
You need to do that before the last VCR machine dies.
Well, they've just stopped making them, so there's still, you can still see them on the internet where you can buy them. You can still buy new ones or used ones. But also remember, those tapes, most of us don't do what we're supposed to do with them. You're supposed to run them every year, even if you don't watch them. All those chemicals can settle in there. You might find that those tapes that you have from the 80s and 90s don't look so good. So transfer them. This is great. It's only, it's under $100.
The great Jim Barry with the now called the Consumer Technology Association. Thank you for stopping by. Happy holidays.
Have a great holiday.
Jim, thank you, sir. Coming up tonight, the real impact of the latest casino to open in Maryland. We'll be right back.
The MPT app puts our programs right at your fingertips, so you can choose when to watch, what to watch, wherever you want to watch it. Download it now.
There is one stage that is the Met and Carnegie Hall. It is the Kennedy Center and a club in Austin. It is closer than any seat in the house, no matter where you call home. PBS, the great American stage that fits in every living room. Supporting your PBS station brings the arts home.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
My child who's watching Super Y, and it said, what letter makes the sound R? And my 2-year-old is jumping up and down going, R, R, R. I love that. I wish I knew the genius that came up with Dinosaur Train. I mean, what little boy especially doesn't like dinosaurs and trains, and to put them together in one show? My family does without a lot of stuff, but I would be horrified if we had to do without PBS.
Please support MPT.
With us now in the studio is James Carmel, professor of history at Harvard Community College and president of the Gaming Atlantic consulting firm. Here to talk casinos again. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Jeff. Glad to be here.
Maryland now has its full complement with the opening of the MGM Casino at National Harbor in Prince George's County. What is that going to mean for the overall market? Are those going to be new customers, or does it take away customers from the other locations?
Well, it's going to be a combination of both. So you're probably going to have a fair amount of people that are currently going to Maryland Live and Horseshoe in Baltimore and even Hollywood Perryville and other casinos around Maryland that are going to go to the new casino, MGM National Harbor. But there's a lot of optimism that it's going to bring in people from outside Maryland and perhaps tap into new markets in Virginia and other places to bring in, to increase the revenue pool. Well,
the location is stone's throw from Virginia and the District of Columbia.
Yes, it really is a fantastic location. And that's kind of a history of Maryland casinos. They've opened up in very good locations. So being right on the Potomac, right across from Washington, D.C., not too far from Alexandria. The huge market around the D.C. suburbs, Northern Virginia, very affluent populations, really make it a pretty good bet to make a lot of money. Yeah.
Your interest in gambling, as I recall, was initially focused on Atlantic City, the academic interest in what happened there. What does all this mean for Atlantic City?
Well, it probably is going to continue to decrease Atlantic City's revenue stream, but probably by now, the population that was going to Atlantic City that has now been diverted to Pennsylvania or to Maryland has already left. So I don't know how much direct impact it's going to have. Maybe some on the remaining casinos. As it is, probably one of the most successful Atlantic City casinos is the Borgata. It's already wholly owned by MGM. So in a way, MGM could benefit by that, by diverting some of its customers from the Borgata to National Harbor. So it's all kind of staying in the same market or the same company. But it could hurt Atlantic City a little bit. But I think a lot of what Atlantic City's lost has already been lost, in a sense.
Interesting. From what I've read of the new casino, $1.4 billion, big musical performance venue. It sounds a little bit more like a Vegas kind of place than a highway rest stop casino kind of place.
That's what it is. It's sort of a huge new kind of Vegas Strip style casino like the Bellagio or the Mirage, both of which are owned by MGM, now appearing in Maryland. So it really is kind of offering this new big casino experience. I was just reading a little while ago about a 26-foot chocolate fountain. So that's pretty impressive. And if you look for celebrity chefs in the high-end spa and restaurants and a huge new conservatory and big new hotel tower. So it really is bringing in kind of new level of luxury, perhaps, to Maryland gaming.
Let me remind our viewers, if you have a question about the casino business in Maryland and where it's heading, you can give us a call. We'll have the number up on the screen, or you can tweet your questions. The Twitter address is @MPT News. Now, we also have 3 more rural casino locations in Maryland, in Perryville, Rocky Gap, and Ocean Downs. What's happening there?
They've been stabilized, maybe decreased a little bit in revenue. With the opening of the Horseshoe Baltimore, that cut into Hollywood Perryville a little bit. But, they've been doing pretty well, particularly Rocky Gap has exceeded projections of revenue. So, they're hanging on. They're not doing too badly. Hollywood Perryville has a pretty solid niche of Harford and Cecil County in northern Maryland, maybe a little bit from southern Pennsylvania coming in. So they're kind of stabilized, I would say, right now. Now, they are going to be impacted a little bit, at least, by the new casino opening up.
I read that the revenue we're seeing now is maybe a little bit below the original projections that were used to sell the voters on approving gambling. Do you think this is pretty much as it's going to be? Is there any section of the market left untapped at this point?
Well, I think the new casino has a potential to bring in an untapped market, possibly from Northern Virginia, even from the Southern Virginia area, and even from other states that have casinos. There's a chance that because of its kind of splendor and greatness that the MGM National Harbor could bring in people who are currently going to casinos in, say, Pennsylvania or other places, or even some of the international gamblers that are currently going to MGM properties in Las Vegas or Macau or Detroit or Mississippi. They could possibly come into Maryland now through the MGM National Harbor. So I think that we might see a slower rate of increase in the coming years, but there is a chance to actually grow the market somewhat.
Let's grab a phone call. Anne Arundel County, this is David. David, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. MGM, I want to go out there. I live in Anne Arundel County, but I just wonder, is MGM compared to the other casinos in Maryland as far as their gaming activity, as far as the odds on, like for video poker machines? I know that Horseshoe actually pays better pay tables than Maryland Live. MGM, I wonder if they have games like Caribbean Stud Poker table games. Like Borgata does have a game like that, and they're the only one in Atlantic City that does, and that's a real fun game for people that can play like $5 a hand.
David, let's get you an answer. You may have to call them. Any idea?
I can't say precisely what games that MGM National Harbor is going to have on the casino floor, but I'm guessing they're going to have a pretty good selection of a pretty good variety of casino games, just like Maryland Live or Horseshoe Baltimore.
Does anybody track the social costs of gambling? When the referendum happened, the pros were the state could bring in a lot of money, and on the negative side were the social costs. There might be an increase in crime. There are people who are betting more than they can afford to lose. Is that studied at all?
Yeah. There's a pretty big group who studies the problem gambling addiction. The good news is it's a pretty small percentage of the population, but where it does happen, it can be devastating. People can run through life savings and go into bankruptcy, and it can cause a whole variety of problems. Maryland does have a pretty good system, pretty well funded with the state revenues to help people who are in that situation in various ways through education, helpline, and counseling programs.
So, so where we stand with the market in just a few seconds, we have the big three now, I guess you could say, and they'll be slugging it out for market share.
Oh, I think so, yeah. We're going to see particularly head-to-head competition between Maryland Live and MGM National Harbor, with Horseshoe Baltimore playing a role there. So the big question is how much revenue impact is Maryland Live, MGM National Harbor going to have on Maryland Live and Horseshoe Baltimore?
Professor James Carmel, we're going to leave it there, but thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us for Direct Connection, and have a good night.
Your health segments are a co-production of Maryland Public Television and the University of Maryland Medical System.
This program was made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities.